entertaining in the long run, not wound up being anything more interesting said in the last few weeks or months than what Deion Sanders said over the weekend. He was talking about the two players that he has as draft prospects for next year, his son, Shedeur Sanders, and the star player Travis Hunter. And listen to how he, Deion, anticipates approaching their draft process.
Where do you predict Shedeur and Travis going in the draft?
Top 4.
That's pretty beautiful.
Anywhere from 1 through 4. One of them is going to be 1. The latter one would not go behind 4. Now, all this is subjective because I know where I want them to go. So there's certain cities that ain't gonna happen.
Okay, you on point.
It's gonna be it's gonna be an Eli.
Okay. And Dan Graziano joins us here. He's down at the owners' meetings as well. And you see Hawk and you see Robert Griffin. And RG3, there's been a lot of this kind of conversation. I know people made a big deal about you suggesting that Caleb Williams could consider something like that in Chicago. I believe we are looking at a different time in sports now. Mm-hmm. Athletes have different expectations. So this whole idea of, oh, well, you just tell me where I'll go play and make my life and I have no control over the entire situation. I think those days are coming to an end. And so I think Deion Sanders signaling that is a fascinating development. What are your thoughts, RG3?
Yeah, I mean, the power shift is coming, so everyone needs to buckle up. All these college coaches have been running to the NFL because they're upset that the college players have a little bit more power and a little bit more say. Well, guess what? Those same kids that they're running away from are the ones that are going to be coming up the ranks and coming into the NFL in the next few years. So Deion saying that either Shedeur or Travis Hunter are going to pull an Eli doesn't surprise me at all. Look at what's happened this year. Caleb Williams goes to the combine, doesn't do anything except for meetings, doesn't even let the medical teams go out there and look at him because he says they don't need to. Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't do his pro day, doesn't do the combine, doesn't run a 40 because they don't need to. In today's age with the athletes and their mindset, they are empowered. They know that they can control their own narratives. They know that they can be a part of the media while they're still playing. So if the players that are coming up are saying these things and feel this type of way, you're going to see more of them pull an Eli and say, I understand that playing in the NFL is a privilege, but that privilege is earned through my pay or through my play. And the players right now understand that they don't have to do the status quo and they don't have to sit here and answer to whatever they're told to do anymore, because without the players, all of these sports leagues are nothing. This is the player empowerment age, and you're seeing it come into the NFL.
That's exactly right. I mean, there's and look, not all the players will have the authority or the ability or the power to do it. But those who do might say, oh, you mean I don't have to sit in a room and allow all these people I don't know to ask me insultingly personal questions about my family and all sorts of other things just because there's no other choice here? I think the day and age of that should have ended a long time ago, and it's ending now. Hawk, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm okay with all of that. I'm okay with not doing the pro days. I'm okay with not doing the interviews. I'm even okay with not doing the physicals because you have an eye and you're a scout. Use your eye, make your decision, and we'll figure it out from there. But as someone who has championed athlete empowerment my entire career, like from the media, from a playing perspective, what I always warn athletes of, there is a thin line between athlete empowerment and athlete entitlement. And this is grossly flirting with that thin line, because the thing that you're not factoring in is a quarterback. Yes, you have the abilities to be successful in the NFL. There are so many other variables and factors outside of your control. One of the most important being, how do you motivate the team that is with you? The guys in the huddle, where they look to you as someone with confidence who they trust can make the play, because it starts there. If I want a quarterback on my team, I want a quarterback who says wherever my 2 feet are planted, we'll compete. It won't matter whether it's in Chicago, Washington, Jacksonville, Cleveland, LA, you name it. Because you've won the lottery of being in position to get graced with my services, congratulations, we're competing for a Super Bowl. And this whole try to fix and pick where your team is when every other player doesn't have that luxury, I'm telling you, it's going to raise eyebrows, not only from a public perspective, to the guys that are also in your locker room, no matter where you end up.
Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. What's up, Joe Boo? What's up, Joe Boo? I missed you this morning back at the house. I really did. I hope everybody's having a great day. I see Roland's review. What's up, Roland? Of course, and we got Lady Libra in the house. What's up, Lady Libra? And the first lady of the night, of course, was Joanne Gonzalez. What's up, JoJo? And we got the diva that is Gina. What's up, Gina? Dallas Diva, how you doing? Thomas Garrett's in the house. My main man, Brian SoCal, who's working on a design for us for the NFL draft. We are exactly a month away, 1 month away, where everything comes to the head for the Dallas Cowboys. We've got a lot to talk about, of course, tonight. Of course, if you're keeping up with the Joe Boo Sports Report, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and stuff, so that way we can keep you up to speed with all the craziness that is the Dallas Cowboys. I just wish that the real Dallas Cowboys, whatever this team is, would stand up. I'll be honest with you. I am just like waffling from one side to the other. You know, I'm looking back at how many times, over the years, we've literally had the Cowboys do nothing. Let's be clear here. They're the do-nothing Cowboys, okay? We are broke ass, and we don't do anything. Or at least we're told we're broke ass, and they're not going to do anything to try and sign anybody outside the building because they believe in their own guys. Now, I have to say, today was interesting because of my son, Philly 500, okay? Philly, my son, of course, always wants to keep me up to speed.
By the way, King Dick back here, and so before we start this video, I gotta get this mother humping thing out of the way. Mark Holmes is my daddy. Okay, that's out of the way. Ow!
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing that was interesting was Philly had actually texted me and he said, he said, when I was on Jacob Sports with Dan Salios, he said we were talking about, the Eagles, Hassan Reddick, and how we can't trade Hassan Reddick, but it may happen and so on, and how good, Saquon was going to be because finally he's with a good team as opposed to being with the ass Giants. And then Philly 500 was saying, I'd rather be in the position that we're in as opposed to what the Cowboys are doing, throwing shade at us like he always does. And then Dan Salio, and let me say Dan Salio, who originally went to University of Maryland and then went to Cincinnati, but before he played at Cincinnati, transferred to the U and was a teammate of Michael Irvin's, as a friend of Michael Irvin's. And he said Michael Irvin believes, and that's the reason why I played this clip, was what the Cowboys are interested in doing is getting Deion's son here next year at quarterback. Now, again, don't shoot the messenger. This is Michael Irvin's thoughts. And he also put it out there that they may be interested in Deion coaching the Cowboys. Now, again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm not saying that it's true or whatever. This is what they were having the conversation of today on his channel. Dan Salias has had Michael Irvin on the show several times. And that this is what Michael Irvin is saying that he believes. Now, that may be the case. I don't know. It may not be the case, but that's what he believes. And we're all free to believe what we want to believe. We do know that Mike McCarthy is on the last year of his deal. I should fix my sound effects. Dennis, what's wrong with my sound effects? What's wrong with my sound effects? You can't hear my crickets? No? You didn't hear the crickets? Okay. All right. Well, you've got to elaborate, Dennis, on what is it? Too loud? Too quiet? What is it? Kiana Gibson. What's up, Miss Gibson? Okay. The next thing. Derek, I don't know about that one. I don't know. You know, if he could get his son here with the Cowboys, you never know. Thomas Garrett, what's up? Tulin, what's going on? Louis Z, David FJKMLK, peace. Damn. Dead Fan 88, okay. Alan Williams in the house, what's up? Yeah, you heard the crickets. I don't know. Dennis said I need to fix my sound effects. I don't know what's wrong with the sound effects, but okay. The next thing we got was we heard Stephen Jones, and I want to play this because he elaborated on quite a few different things. So it sounds like we are changing to the 4-3 defense, and that Stephon Gilmore is gone. So Mike is low. Okay, hold on. Okay, I tell you what. Let me play this clip, and I will see if I can adjust it a little bit more for you.
So you don't see yourself having more needs to fill this year because of your cap situation and your lack of activity in free agency compared to past years?
We've never been real active in free agency.
Right, but you've done a lot.
We've done things, and we're not through. We'll see where we end up on some of these things in terms of, in terms of what makes sense for us.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop a trigger warning right now because I know some of y'all despise
this is
when
the wrong
Stephen
clip.
Jones even breathes. So you may get triggered.
Sorry, I got the wrong clip. That's not the right one. Forgive me. So
I'm glad you had 1,350 people in there?
Okay, hold on. Let me find the right clip. See, look at this. Damn it, I done messed up. Because Game Time Brian sent it to me, and I thought I had the right one. But shout out to Dak Attack. Okay, hold up. Broke-ass media in full effect. There we go. All right, so we got this squared away. Let me just pop it up. That's what she said. Bang, bang. Pop it up. Okay.
There's the running back situation. Not having, Tony. We did get Rico signed back, but, we've got a bunch of good young offensive linemen that we feel good about, and it's time for those guys to step up. And,
here we go.
But overall we feel pretty good. We thought the Kendricks deal was big for us in terms of, having someone in there with Leighton, but we also got Overshown coming back and feel really good about where he was before he got hurt. And so overall, I'd say we feel good, but we're always, that's has been our modus is look for things that are efficient for our roster.
So at this point, you don't feel there is more. You always want to hit on your first 3 draft picks. But
sure.
There's not just kind of where you are in roster construction now. Is there going to be even more of a premium placed on those early picks in the draft as far as needing them to contribute early?
Yeah, but I think the draft aligns, a little bit with our needs. Okay. I mean, I think the deepest position in this draft is offensive line. So, you're always, every year you're wanting to bring young guys, into the fold in terms of your offensive line depth and, how we work that. I think that aligns very well with us. But, I think we've always, I thought Will and, and Alex Loomis, they've done a good job of always looking for things that would make sense for us.
Missing out on that 4th round pick, do you feel like if there's a good trade back scenario for you guys, would you be interested in acquiring?
It's you got to play option quarterback when the draft comes around. I mean, you're kind of seeing how things fall. We're early too, in terms of what our board's going to look like. I mean, we don't have our board up yet. And, we've got a feel for the areas where guys should end up. But overall, I think, especially as you move in the draft and we're late in the first round, I mean, you really don't see those opportunities till, the first half of the board it'll come off. and then we'll see where we sit.
So you don't see yourself having more needs to fill this year because of your cap situation and your lack of activity in free agency compared to past year?
We've never been real active in free
No,
agency.
you've never.
We've done things, and we're not through. We'll see where we end up on some of these things in terms of
baffling with bullshit.
In terms of what makes sense for us, as we see what players might be available out there, and if they make sense for us. As we all know, this free agency thing seems to be condensed every year. More and more guys seems to be one big run in the first 3 to 5 days, and then as you've seen lately, there's not a lot of activity out there. But sometimes guys just have to get their hands around where they want to be, and what their financial situation is based on how the market's working out.
You mentioned that offensive line class, Tyler Smith. How much flexibility does he kind of give you going into the draft? And I'm sure there wouldn't be a final decision on where he would be positionally until after the draft, correct?
That's probably correct. I mean, at the end of the day, versatility is a huge thing, and anytime you got a player like Tyler, who's shown that he can play at a high level at tackle or guard, that brings versatility. And like I said, we have some young guys there like a TJ Bass, that really stepped up and played well for us last year. We're looking forward to a full off season with let's go again, and seeing what Awesome Richards does, and we'll have Ball back in the mix again.
Don't you love it? They're just
see how
the
these
camera
guys,
at everybody but Stephen Jones.
Pan out as we work into the off season, but feel really good about them. And at the same time, I'm sure we'll, because of the depth at that position.
All right, so people are done with listening to Stephen Jones. Okay, so forgive me, but here's the reality. Here's the thing that you may not want to listen to Stephen Jones, but here's the difference. Okay, there is a difference between Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. Jerry Jones, let me see how I can put it the right way. If you've ever been to a dog track, okay, or if you've even seen the cartoons of a dog track, Mark, getting Stephen Jones off the screen, you got it, my man. Listen, he's off the screen, man. Okay, he's off the screen there. Shout out to Alan Williams. Let me get you in the screen. Man, you guys hate Stephen Jones. Alan Williams. All right, so here's the thing about Stephen Jones. You may not like Stephen Jones, but Stephen Jones does not lie to you. He does not lie to you. When he says, we believe in our own guys, he means it. We believe in our guys, and we're not going to spend a whole bunch of money in free agency, because if you spend a whole bunch of money in free agency, it's because you didn't draft well. And instead of fixing a problem, he'd rather not admit that there was a problem. And so he is going to be that one that's going to say, here's where he's going to say we get a bump. And I kind of said this myself a couple days ago. We will get a free agent like Bump by getting Overshown back if he comes back 100% healthy. You'll get a bump when you get Diggs back. Because remember, we played, with the exception of 3 games, with Diggs. Well, if he's healthy and out next year, that's like adding a huge free agent. So when you start looking at those guys, that's a possibility. And typically, see, we have been actually spoiled as Dallas Cowboy fans because we've had such success of guys coming out as rookies and having great years. And you can say, when Dak Prescott came out, Offensive Player of the Year rookie. When you looked at Zeke Elliott, how he came out of the box. When you look at Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Tyler Smith, all guys. Casey Stewart, what's up, Casey? When you look at how those guys came out as rookies, and of course Micah Parsons, and you say you expect everybody to come out and play like that as a first-round pick, but that's really more few and far between. Royal 07 Cowboys to name Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner's signed with the Commanders. He's dead to me. They've had the opportunity twice to sign Bobby Wagner and just didn't. So, that's the Cowboys. That would have been, to me, a Bobby Wagner signing would have been a correct one 2 years ago. Jeff Lee in the house. Derek Young in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up, David? Lovely Linda in the place. What's up, Linda? Bobby Ice. What's up, Bobby? So here's where they could be right. And I don't know what to think of this season. We've been here every single year. Every year we don't do anything in free agency. Everybody says Mike McCarthy's getting fired. He's being set up for failure. The Cowboys want to move on from Dak Prescott. They're not going to pay him because they realize that Dak Prescott's taking all the money, and so they can't field a team. So they need to move on from Dak Prescott and get Trey Lance going, because Trey Lance will be cheap and we'll be able to get some players. And with the players that we get, we're going to be a champion in the Super Bowl. Not looking and saying, winners of the last few Super Bowls. Let's see. Pat Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes. Nick Foles was in there on a great team. Very rarely is it that a team wins the Super Bowl with an average quarterback. Have you noticed that, guys? Now, I know 49er fans will say, hey, we had Jimmy G in there. Yeah, and Jimmy G threw 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter and lost it. And you had an incredible team. You've had an incredible team 3 times and lost. James Snyder, what's going on, James? Coyotes in the house. MM and MM. And citing tropes. Bro, Dallas isn't the only team that drafts well. True. True. But you have to say the Cowboys have been probably hitting on more first-round picks than anybody over the last, say, 12 years. Pretty much with the exception of 2 guys. The exception of 2 players that they've drafted in the first round. All of them have been Pro Bowl players. That's pretty damn good. That's insane when you think about it. Dak is hungry money is really common sense. Well, let me ask you, Royal Cowboys. If the Cowboys had money, do you think that they would have spent it in free agency? I'm asking because if they really, here's the thing. Let me put myself out there, okay? If you are desperate enough to want something, okay? Let me say this. You will find a way to make it happen. Mark, your shirt is how Dak has to be feeling right now. Oh, yeah. That's why I'm wearing it. Shout out to We the Ones. We the Ones. And before that, citing tropes. All right, so I know that when I started fixing some of these houses, I didn't have good credit. Bank wouldn't loan me money. So I had to find a way to get the job done by other means. Working extra jobs, okay? Doing them when I had time and a little extra money, and persevering. Scrapping and saving where I could to make something happen. That's how I got this thing done. Me and the wife, we figured it out. Okay? We figured out how to. And so the Cowboys, we saw how they were $10 million in the red, and they flipped the switch on one player, Zach Martin, to get some cap space. They went out and got that one. Do you think that that's the only player that they could have done that with? They can do that with Dak Prescott right now, and it's not going to change the fact that they still owe him $90 million. In fact, now that they've got voidable years in there, they could go tomorrow and take $20 million and drop it off in year void 2 of the year. and save themselves $20 million right now. Do you think that they would do that, would take that $20 million and use it in free agency? Because they could. It doesn't matter. Listen, Dak Prescott has $55 million this year and $40 million on the cap. Now, what you have to understand is he's already gotten that money. This is just accounting purposes because, as you guys say, well, he's money hungry. Well, he's only like the 14th highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now. Kirk Cousins just got $45 million just to go to Atlanta. That's more than what Dak gets a year. It's not Dak's fault that the Cowboys kept using it as a piggy bank. Okay? Let's be clear. When the Cowboys had Dak Prescott's first year of the deal, what has those draft picks? Well, you know what? Citing tropes, you are 100% right. I am glad you made that plural. What have those draft picks produced in the playoffs? Because it's more than just Dak. Dak's got to be better. Everybody says I don't put any blame on Dak. You know, people calling in Law Nation and stuff and saying, you know, Mark Holmes gets all bad. No, listen. There's plenty of blame to go around. Coaching sucks. Lady Libra. Shout out to Lady Libra. Thank you for the super chat. Lady Libra, Dallas Cowboy for life. Woohoo. Everybody's got to step up. Everybody has to step up. Now, here's where I don't know if I'm coming or going anymore. Game time, Brian. I wish you were in here with me, bro, because this is one of those times where I need you. And shout out to Game Time, Brian, because he's over 3,000. He is like literally like you would think that he's on SpaceX or something or other. He's like a rocket ship, just like pounding the numbers like crazy. I got to look in the rearview mirror because he's going to be passing me soon. Shout out to Game Time. Because Game Time, this is one of those times that I need some moral support here because 1 minute I'm like, they're blowing this shit up. Then the next minute, I'm actually believing that we're not quite that bad. I'm sorry, 4,000. Look, he's grown so fast, I can't even keep up with the numbers. I bet you by the end of the show, it's going to be 5,000. Shout out to Game Time and everybody who subbed up to one of my many kids out there. Shout out to them. In some regards, you listen to the talking heads enough that say, you know, the Cowboys are going to be terrible. This morning's video I played from 3 years ago, from 2020, where they literally said that the Cowboys and the Eagles should blow their teams up because Washington and the Giants were young rosters, that they got, you know, good quarterbacks and they're ascending and the Cowboys and the Eagles are descending and they need to blow it up. And here we are 3 years later, the Cowboys have 36 victories and won the division twice. Now, granted, we haven't had the playoff success. But see, here's the problem. Here's the thing. You've got to have regular season success to make it to the playoffs. So that's one step. Okay, they've got that step mastered. Okay? Last year, we killed them. We looked and we said, damn, we can't Noah Brown it again. Michael Gallup is ass. We need to go out and get a wide receiver. We talked about Anthony Hopkins, right? Right? Did I say Anthony Hopkins? DeAndre Hopkins, excuse me. Not silencing of the lambs, although I need to probably be silent. Remember we were trying to say, hey, like that. Remember we were talking about Odell Beckham, right? We kept talking, oh, man, we need a receiver. Remember we were talking about we need to replace Tyron Smith. We need a tackle. Tyron Smith can't stay healthy. Look at that. He only played 4 games or so last year, right? Didn't we say that last year? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do? Huh? Nothing. We didn't go out there and do that. We didn't go out and get anybody. And they said, Cowboys don't care about winning. They don't care about winning. So this is where I'm kind of on the fence, because I recognize that you had an incredible player that you lost in Diggs. Doesn't sound like Stephon Gilmore's coming back, because I think they're looking and saying, we got Diggs coming back. Deron Bland has stepped up. Jordan Lewis was coming back from injury and, played better as the season went on. He should be better. That's what they're thinking is. They're thinking the secondary is good. We know that our linebacking core was terrible last year, but they say Overshown showed some promise. Okay? Right? And Eric Kendrick fits the defense. And if they are going to the 4-3, the guys you have, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. What's up, Rhonda? Citing tropes. If you support the Joneses, you're not a real Cowboy fan. Stop getting pimped out. Well, hold on now. Now, citing trope. Okay, hold on, bro. Listen to me. All right? Are you here, honey? Okay. All right. Citing, are you married, Citing? Citing trope? Citing trope. Are you married? Okay. This is my second marriage, and I have been married for 20 years. 20 years. And during that 20 years, with the help of my wife, the two of us together have done things that I never dreamed that I could do. And I'm not talking about the nasty shit or anything like that, okay? Let's get your mind out the gutter. But I'm talking about, like this house right here. We're building a red brick house and things. And, we've had ups and downs where we had hard times and things. And this is where you know that you got the one, okay? All right? You know how you know you have the one? Not when times are good. It's easy for anybody to be there when times are good. When we got money, you got lots of friends. When you know that you have somebody that's got your back is when you have bad times, they don't run. And that's the honest to God truth. And, we've gone through, money problems and things like that and stuff, like every couple and stuff, right? My wife don't run. She'll run at you. She'll put a foot in your ass, but she ain't going to go anywhere, and she going to help find a solution for that. And that's where, I like to say, she's my ride or die, resurrect chick. Because she going to ride and die, and then she's going to come back and tell you fucked up, okay? But here's the thing. So when you're in a relationship, and I love that woman more than anybody. Anybody. Like I said, that's my ride and die girl. But here's the thing. I don't love everything about her. And I can guarantee you she'll tell you there's a few things about me that she don't like. Okay? And I can guarantee you that there is nobody out there that has a person that they love every single thing about it, not unless they're crazy. They're obsessed. And you want to keep away from people that are like that because they're crazy and obsessed. And so I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. I love my Emmitt Smith box right there, okay? I love my toolbox. I have two of these. One sent to me by Miss Jackie and one sent to me by Joseph Heatherly. Up here, I've got a limited edition series that has only 277 of these Doomsday pickup trucks. I have number 3, and it is signed by Charles Haley and also Bob Lilly. Okay? I love that. I got Tony Dorsett signed on that football right there. I got another one at the house that's signed by Tom Landry. I love the Dallas Cowboys. Roger Staubach is my favorite player of all time. I've been to the mountaintop watching them win 5 Super Bowls in my life. But it doesn't mean that I like everything about them. I don't like the way they go about free agency. I've used my analogy of the pendulum. Typically in life, when something goes bad, the pendulum swings the other way. Sometimes it swings too far. The Cowboys, they're on one end of the spectrum. In fact, somebody pushed the pendulum further that way. When you see them only spend so far $10 million, and the next closest team has spent 39, and somehow we still broke, there's a problem here. And I don't like that. I don't like that we keep hearing this thing that, we believe in our guys. Okay, you don't have any linebackers left. There's nobody to believe in. You got one on the roster, Damone Clark. I don't like that. I don't like that. Jerry Jones, you know what? Love him or hate him. I'm in a love-hate relationship with Jerry Jones. Because you have to understand how bad, and trust me, I saw the Doomsday Defense when they were playing, okay? And I remember that Monday Night Football game where Tony Dorsett ran 99 yards against the Minnesota Vikings. I remember the Hail Mary, okay? So I've seen all those things. But what I also saw was Tom Landry, who was the offense and defensive coordinator of the team and was Mr. Innovator, get old and get passed by Bill Walsh, by Joe Gibbs. And to see the team holding on to old players, having gone to 3 NFC championships in a row and not making to the Super Bowl, and then literally just get old where the point of Tom Landry just didn't have it anymore. And as much as you may hate Jerry Jones came in and bought an organization that was losing $2 million a month. Sight and trope. But the Joneses are like your first wife, cancerous. Maybe it's better to separate. Well, imagine this. Let me ask you this question. What if the Joneses hadn't bought the Cowboys and we were the Jets for the last 40 years? What if we were the Jets? What if we didn't win those 3 Super Bowls in the 90s with Jerry Jones? What if the person that bought us was like the Bidwells that were cheap? What if? What if we were the Carolina Panthers and we never knew what it was like to be them boys and we weren't the most talked about franchise? Would that be better? Because here's the thing that you got to understand. Without Jerry Jones hiring his college buddy, Jimmy Johnson, we ain't them boys. We ain't the AT&T Stadium. We're not on every show talked about. Is that better? We wouldn't have won something by now? Not necessarily, Derek. It's been, think about it. As good as San Francisco's been, it's been longer since they won a Super Bowl. Think about the Commanders. Think about how long it's been since they won the Super Bowl. 1991? How about the Jets? Think about, I know Kansas City is hot now, but it was 50 years before they won another one again. And the Eagles, Lord knows, they've just won one. So as much as I dislike what the Cowboys are doing right now, and as much as it hurts not being in the NFC Championship game, what if we were not even making the playoffs? Is that better? Bobby Ice says, I thank God we them boys. San Francisco's been relevant, but does it count that you're – so do you look at Buffalo and say Buffalo was relevant when they went to 4 Super Bowls and lost? Do you look at the Minnesota Vikings that went to 4 Super Bowls and lost and say that they were great? They would have turned into the Chiefs. Would they have? And let me say another thing while we're at it too. Now, I can't believe y'all have made me have to start defending the Joneses. Okay? I hate the fact that you've just done this to me. But think about this. Think about the Jets, right? The Jets, the last time they won the Super Bowl, of course, they had a great running attack, and Joe Namath. The misconception is that Joe Namath won the game, but actually it was a running back. Joe Namath didn't throw for over 140 yards, I don't think, in that game. But be that as it may, you know, the Jets are constantly trying to get there. The Jets have drafted in recent history, last 5 years, 2 quarterbacks in the first round. Zach Wilson was the second pick. I can't remember where Sam Darnold was, but he was up there. They've even gone out and signed an Aaron Rodgers. They go out and they get players left and right. They got 2 number ones for Jamal Adams. They're making moves left and right. But we're not making any moves, right? But look at the Jets. Just because you make moves doesn't mean they're necessarily good moves and that they're going to lead to winning. I'm just saying, look at the Commanders. Do you feel like the Commanders this year are now a Super Bowl team? They've gone out. They said, let's get Donovan McNabb. No, that didn't work. Let's trade up. Let's get RG3. Nope, that didn't work. Let's bring in an Albert Hainsworth. He's the best interior defensive lineman out there, and we'll pay him the biggest contract at that time of our defensive player. Nope, that didn't work out. Let's get an Adam Marcelletto. Nope, that didn't work out. We got Kirk Cousins. We'll franchise tag him a couple times. We'll let him walk, and we'll just bring in a veteran like, former number 1 pick and Alex Smith. That'll do us. Nope, that didn't do it. Well, let's draft another quarterback like Dwayne Haskins and plug him in. Nope, that didn't do it. Let's bring in a quality veteran like Ryan Fitzpatrick, because he's matured, he's mentored all these quarterbacks. He's been through hell. He's been through every bad team in the world that's drafted a young quarterback. He's always got some magic where he'll win 5 or 6 games and make you think that he's a great quarterback. And he gets hurt the first game. Without Jimmy, Jones wouldn't have won shit. But yes, you are right, citing tropes. But guess what? Who brought in Jimmy? Who brought in Jimmy? Because if Jerry didn't bring in Jimmy, there you go. That's not to say that they haven't lost it, and I can't believe you guys have got me defending the Joneses. But here's where I know you don't want to listen to them, but listening to Stephen Jones talking about where they are and about going to the 4-3, the guys that we let go are not 4-3 guys. They're not 4-3 guys. Now, the Cowboys, I hate to say it, they've done good in the scratch and dent pile at getting some players that can play. They have. Y'all weren't excited about Dante Fowler. You weren't excited. Now you're mad that he's gone. Y'all weren't excited about Darnce Armstrong when they signed him to a 2-year contract and told you he was good as Randy Gregory. Y'all wanted Randy Gregory. Come on. Admit it. You said, oh, my God, we let Randy Gregory go for Dorrance Armstrong? Didn't we? Cowboys, shout out to Sighton Tropes, man. He's breaking the bank. Cowboys had winning culture before the Joneses. They brought in the right time, the right place. Sighton Tropes, how old are you? Because I hate to tell you, bro, we sucked ass in the late part of the 80s. We were bad. We had gotten old. And Tom Landry, the coach of my Cowboys that was incredible, got old. I pray that these fans that want Dak gone or for us to start afresh will soon get their wish. And those that said keep Dak will be shaking their heads and hoping for the best because it's hard to find good quarterbacks alone. A nice quarterback like Dak. TWY, man, shout out to you with this huge super chat. And truer words have not been spoken. Truer words have not been spoken. And I dare say, is as much as it would hurt to see Dak go someplace else, how would y'all feel if you saw Dak Prescott go someplace else and win a Super Bowl ring? Would you feel a certain kind of way? Wouldn't you be kind of pissed off and say, why wasn't that here? And here's the part about it that doesn't make sense to me right now. I don't know how somebody can fix their mouth and their mind to say it's Dak Prescott's fault when we're all sitting here and looking and saying the Cowboys have been jettisoning talent for years, and not replacing them. That the Cowboys aren't using all tools available to them to bring in talent. That we have let go player after player after player. And the thought from our owner's son is we've got injured players that are coming back that are going to make us better. And instead of us looking and remembering how we are right now, right here, and what we're doing and lack thereof, we just look and say, the quarterback can't elevate the team. You are asking Dak Prescott to do what nobody else is asked to do. Pat Mahomes is great. Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. But I'm telling you, without Pacheco's running, without Kelsey's catching, without that defense, without Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes is not winning Super Bowls. He's not winning Super Bowls. It's beyond one guy. Because if it was about one guy, then Aaron Rodgers should have won it almost every year when he was MVP. It will expose the Joneses. What will expose the Joneses? Happy for him, but sad for the Cowboys. Lady Libra, yeah. And you know what? Here's where, I'm Joe Boo. For those who don't know, Cowboy Joe Boo, who's sitting over here patiently and all that. The reason, a lot of you are new. Shout out to the 100,000 people plus that are members of it, okay? Joe Boo, for everybody who's new here, okay, is because of an Eagle fan. I used to be in a talk trash group on Facebook, NFC East, and I remember there was Jen Donnelly. If you guys have ever heard of Tom Donnelly, the moron, it was his wife. She came out, Mean Mug, what's going on? How are you doing, brother? she posted on Facebook, I need some Cowboy fans to help defend the star because I'm getting beat up by all these Eagle fans. And so I joined this Facebook group, and it was like 120 of us. And we just talked trash back and forth, about our teams and things, and cut up on each other. And I remember I went to New Orleans because we did a photo shoot there with my wife, and I bought a couple of little voodoo trinkets from Marie LeBeau voodoo shop, because she was supposed to be the voodoo priestess, okay? And I took those things over to FedEx Field, and I put them in front of the stadium there to try and curse them. And, God, I can't remember his name right now. Dale said the Cowboys suck so bad that not even Joe Boo could help him. So being a woodworker, as a joke, I carved Joe Boo's head. That was like 2012. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make Joe Boo. So I made Joe Boo, and I took him like in front of MetLife Stadium and FedEx Field and the Eagle Stadium, and I took pictures of him, okay? And Joe Boo, like Joe Boo from Major League. Well, here's what I would say if I'm Dak Prescott and the crew is like in Major League. This is what it kind of feels like. This is where I keep waffling one side of the fence, where I keep seeing people check out. It reminds me of the owner from Major League, where she wanted to move the team. So she filled the roster with a bunch of losers and figured they're going to lose. When they lose so bad, they'll want to get rid of the team, and I can move them to Florida. And so Tom Berenger says in the movie, we need to win the whole fucking thing. Excuse my language. And that's what they proceeded to do, so she couldn't move the team. So if I'm Dak Prescott and I'm looking at this and I'm not getting a contract, done, and people are just saying, I find it funny how people say he's greedy. He wants the bag. Let me ask you a question. At your job, I'm asking a serious question. At your job, do you look and say, you know what? You don't have to pay me, I don't know what you make an hour. You don't have to pay me $35 an hour. I'll just take 20. It's okay. I'm a team player. I appreciate that I have a job. Especially when, let's say it's in retail. Let's say you got to work in the drive-thru, right? You got to work in the drive-thru. And, no. Let's say you are a server. You're the waitress or the waiter. And you got a chef out here who's fucking shit up. You know what I'm saying? They ask for a medium rare steak and it's like burnt. It's like a hockey puck. And you got to serve this shit. And the people that you're serving it to are looking at you with the side eye, and they're basically saying, what is this shit? I didn't cook it. I'm just, don't get, listen, I did my job. I brought the food out to you like I was supposed to do. It was the chef that burned the shit, but I'm the one that's not getting the tip. I'm the one that's getting the ban. Let me speak to the manager. I dare you do this. She didn't burn the shit. The damn chef in the kitchen did. Or the guy who took the order mixed it up with somebody else's. But she's the one taking the shit. That's Dak Prescott. The Joneses are in the kitchen burning shit up. They're burning the shit up. Dak Prescott's the one that's come out here and serve it to you. And guess what? You're like, I ain't paying you. I'm not paying you. Listen, I didn't do the mess up, but I'm the one taking the bullets. They're not yelling at the chef. They're not the ones that are cussing me out. Would you want to do that at your job? Or would you look at it and say, listen, I am one of the best out here. I have worked my life to get to the point where I am now. I am one of a couple of dozen of people on the whole fucking planet that can do this shit, and I do it at an elite level. Why am I supposed to give it away? Why am I supposed to work for less? Because, Justin Herbert, that guy's getting $51 million. And I don't want to hear shit about, well, listen, I don't want to hear shit about he's generational. Trevor Lawrence, you think that he's going to end up taking a team-friendly deal because he hasn't been as advertised as the number one guy? Because nobody tried to make up for Dak Prescott when he got $680,000 when Aaron Rodgers was getting $2 million a game. Dak had to play a whole season for $680,000. Aaron Rodgers was getting $2 million a game. So it's your job. At your job, how would you feel if that guy is getting $32 an hour and you getting $1 an hour? Would you look and say, yeah, I should give it to, no, fuck that. With all the shit, when people literally go through and say things like, I'm glad your brother killed himself, maybe you can focus on football now? Seriously? When you got people who call you Dak trash cut and every unthinkable thing in the world, hell, I get shit and I'm not the one out there. I can imagine what it's like for him. And y'all then, look, I'm an MVP candidate 2 years out of the last 3. I'm doing my job and people are blaming me. And so you expect him to say, sure, I'll be here for the Cowboys and the Joneses. I'll take less money, even though they're not spending it on anybody else. Because I don't believe Micah Parsons is going to say, you know what? I'm a Dallas Cowboy for life. I'm going to take less money. I don't believe CeeDee Lamb, who's already said, I want to be the highest paid. I don't believe he's taking less money. I don't believe that Zeke Elliott said, you know what? I'm a running back. I'm going to take less money. I don't believe that DeMarcus Lawrence out there said, you know what? I'm going to take less money. I'm going to go ahead and, give him a team-friendly deal. I don't believe that Michael Gallup said, you know what? I'll take less money because I'm injured and I want to leave some on the table for some other people. I don't remember any player out there doing what y'all are asking others to do. Because I kept saying this past year, when everybody was in the 40s, all of a sudden, Hurts getting 50 million or 51, and Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson and everything, that everybody was all of a sudden going into the 50s, and that the number kept going up and up and up. But some reason, because the Cowboys mismanaged their money, I'm supposed to give you a break. Come on, man. That's some bullshit. I remember, as a contractor, sometimes you mess up shit. You forget to order something, or you think, oh, man, they got this shit in stock, right? Customer wants to have this certain tile. You saw it on the wall. You thought it was in stock. You didn't check. You messed up. And so then you go to the guys there at the counter, and I remember they had a sign. Your emergency doesn't mean it's my emergency. In other words, your poor planning doesn't mean it's my emergency. That's on you. Here's how we do things. That piece is special order. Can't make it come any quicker. And because you fucked it up, doesn't mean I got to work harder on it. And that's the reality. The Cowboys, you're going to tell me that the Cowboys have spent $10 million and still don't have any money, and they haven't signed any free agents of note? since Greg Hardy, and yet they're still broke? That ain't my problem, bro. I have a certain set of skills. You don't want to pay for them? No problem. If your idea is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and try and that's on you, bro. Okay, that's cool. As long as, listen, we got an agreement. You owe me $55 million for this year. You owe me 40 for next year. And I can leave and take my services elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, when you all say you should take a team-friendly deal and do this, it's cutthroat, y'all. Tyron Smith, if that doesn't tell you that Tyron Smith, who has given everything, leaving body parts out on the field, that they turn around and say, well, nah, we don't have enough money to pay. We can't pay those incentives for Tyron Smith, so we had to let him go. That should let you know there's no such thing as loyalty. Because you can make an agreement with them. You can outperform it. They ain't going to turn around and say, you know what? We didn't think you were going to be a starter, and you were a stud, man. How about we give you something extra? You took a guy in the 4th round that you said he's going to be a camp body. You lose your quarterback. He steps in and gets you in the playoffs. And if it weren't for a miracle throw by Aaron frickin' Rodgers, you're in the NFC Championship game. This guy plays great for you for 3 years for $680,000. At any point, if he breaks his leg and can't ever play again, well, we appreciate you, bro. Thanks a lot. Good luck in life. You're not a tenured player, so there's no retirement for you. But we appreciate you. Way to go. They had the opportunity after that to say, you know what, let's get you a deal done. Nope, they didn't. We'll make the 4th year a prove-it year. So 4 years in, you had the opportunity to do the right thing for him and say, we're going to give you some security. We're going to get you a contract. You made him play on that one. And then franchise tagged him again. If he has, let's say, an Alex Smith injury that franchise tagged year, he's done. And you guys say he should take a team-friendly deal, a home team discount. Well, let me ask you this. As they go through and they get rid of Zeke and don't replace him, as they get rid of Amari Cooper and don't replace him, as they get rid of offensive linemen and don't replace him, what are they doing for him? And you say, take a team-friendly deal. You may look at it and say, man, that's a lot of money. But guess what? Let's say he says, I'm going to take $40 million. And then next year, the price tag is $65 million or $70 million. That 2 years from now, it's $80 million a year. And he takes a $40 million deal. Do you think they're going to go ahead and say, you know what? We know that quarterback's getting paid $80 million a year. We're just going to give you some more money. Because no, they're not going to do that. They're not. It's nothing personal. It's only business. And unless all you people out there that say he should take a discount, are you willing to do the same yourself? Are you willing to go ahead and say, for my company, I'll take a discount. I'll work for less than the other guy is right there. If your answer is no, then damn sure don't ask somebody else to do that. She was a model. Who was a model? So many pimped out fans by the Joneses, sad and pathetic. Can you sit in there and honestly say you believe Dak can win the Super Bowl? Nah, I can't. I can say probably not with the Joneses. You're right. Probably not with the Joneses. But I'm going to say I'm at this point right now, I don't know that anybody can win with the Joneses as currently constructed. I just don't. I think you could put Pat Mahomes in here right now today, and you're not winning a Super Bowl. You're not. Philly Joe, bro, it's all relative. It's like this. I can take a house that's in Alabama that costs $250,000 and put it in Northern Virginia, and it's worth $1.5 million. It's the same damn house, but unfortunately, things are different. People make more money in Northern Virginia. There's a bigger demand there, and so on. So it's the price is still relevant. You go down there, the jobs are probably less expensive down there, and that's why the housing is. It's the same thing, bro. You don't want to work for less money than what the next guy does. That's the same thing, whether it's $60 million or $60 an hour or $16 an hour. It's all relative. It's all relative. Bro, there's a difference between making $30 an hour and $300 million. It's not saying Dak should take a cut, but it's not a real comparison. Sorry, Claude. It is if everybody's making that. It is, bro. It is. I'm doing the same thing that Aaron Rodgers is doing. I'm getting injured too. I'm doing the same thing that Justin Herbert's doing. So you're saying, so let me be clear here. So Justin Herbert's making $51 million a year, right? Ain't got a playoff win. Ain't got a playoff win. He's even younger than Dak Prescott is. He's making 51. So you're telling him, Dak, you should take less money than that guy? Really? Are you really saying that to him? That you should take less money than what the going rate is? Because that's what you're saying. That you should take less money than that. Why should I take less money than what somebody else is doing? Mike Aldana, it might be. Or what it might end up being is another 12-5 season. He's younger though, Mark. What does that have to do with it? Then I'm more experienced, okay? Because here's what I've done. Let me ask, okay, so the younger guy, the guy who's just got here, who has less experience and has less winning, because last I checked, he was not a candidate for league MVP. Last I checked, they went to the playoffs and were up 26-0, and they lost. Last I checked, he had great weapons, and we were told that he now had a real offensive coordinator, the same guy we had here, and he went downhill. So he's doing a worse job, is younger than what he's doing, and you're saying that he should take less money? Seriously? Seriously. Okay. I got it. There's a thing called seniority here. It really is. It really is. But hey, you know, we're all entitled to our own opinions. That's the nice thing about the YouTube, okay? Nice thing about YouTube and being here. People can be behind a keyboard and can say anything that they want and can believe whatever they want and feel empowered to say, he's a bum. Okay. And I'm entitled to be able to say, he's not. I'm entitled to say, Stephen Jones, that guy, is not trying to do what he can to help his quarterback. Are you honestly looking and saying what the Eagles do for Jalen Hurts that the Cowboys are doing for Dak Prescott? Are you honestly going to look and say what San Francisco has been doing for Brock Purdy is the same thing that the Cowboys are doing for Dak Prescott? Claude, I'm sorry. I get rolling in here. I missed your quote. Claude, let me try and go back. So many pimped out fans by the Joneses, sad and pathetic. Satan, how many times are you going to say that, man? All roads lead to Dak Prescott. I can't find it. Well, it's common sense isn't common, Mark. I have a wife. Oh, man. Why are you getting angry, Mark, about Dak? I'm not getting angry about Dak. I'm just getting angry about how people, whether you like Dak or not, fair is still fair. And that's why I try to make you think. My goal here in life is, whether you laugh at me or laugh with me, is to try and make you think outside of the box, to make you realize that there's more than one side of the equation. And we, unfortunately, as people, because of the good old swipe, real quick, where you literally get your fix in about 5 seconds and you swipe on to the next thing, people don't remember shit. Because what's going to happen by the time the football season is here, all these people that say, boycott the Cowboys, don't buy their merchandise, don't go to the games, will be the first ones there at the stadium saying, we going to the Super Bowl, and not remembering where we are right now. And we'll turn around at the end of the season and say, yeah, Dak sucks. He can't elevate the team. When other teams are going out and getting the best running back, when other teams are going out and getting themselves stud wide receivers, when other teams are getting themselves offensive linemen and stuff, when other teams are trading and trying to improve themselves, we get Stephen Jones saying, well, we're going to be better because of the injured players we're getting back. And we just look at the quarterback. All right, good people. I have to go put some edge. I've poured my last concrete step, before I came up here, and it's hopefully the cement is set a little bit so I can put the round edge on the nose and get ready to get my ass in bed, because I've got a job I'm doing. It's about 75 miles away. I gotta get up and drive there. And with some of y'all just enjoy trying to get my blood pressure up, and just love arguing, telling me how much trash my quarterback is. I appreciate y'all, though. And I will see y'all later. Peace.
Disrespected yet? Does this defense have any heart?
No, they suck. I've been telling you all season, Philly.
They've shit on you. They've shit on you. Don't you hear me, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Slate? They shit on you. They've shit on you. They have shit on you. Don't you hear me, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter?